Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Mind of Mandy. So, I had no idea what I was going to do tonight's podcast on, and I even went so far as I did the dishes to avoid doing this. Like, if you have ADHD, you know. Anyway, so I was looking through my handy dandy little notebook of ideas, and then Reiki popped up. And I'm like, I've never really talked about Reiki. So, here we go. So, what is Reiki? And I'm going to read the definition off the Reiki.org website. Reiki, Reiki .org. Okay? And that is who I have my certifications through. Reiki is a Japanese technique for stress reduction and relaxation that also promotes healing. It is administered by laying on hands and is based in the idea that an unseen life force energy flows through us and is what causes us to be alive. If one's life force energy is low, then we are more likely to get sick or feel stress, and if it is high, we are more capable of being happy and healthy. Okay. So when people ask me what Reiki is, my initial generic is it's a relaxation technique that promotes self-healing, which it absolutely 1000% is true. And this says laying on of hands. There are specific hand positions that we are taught that do work on specific areas. We also have power symbols, which unless you are taught, you are, it's not initiated. What's the term I'm looking for? Anyway, unless you are initiated, for lack of a better term, you get your level 1 and 2, 3, and 4. There's 4 levels. You don't have those power symbols to use. And even if you do find them on the internet, it does not mean you are attuned. That's the word. Attuned to them. You have to have a Reiki master attune you to the symbols. And can this be done online? Absolutely. I've taught a couple classes now online, and it works just as well as the in-person. Now, Reiki, for me, I got into it because of my fibromyalgia. Excuse me. Because a friend of mine, Sharon, had told me about how Reiki was helping her with her fibro, so I'm like, fuck it. I will try it. So I went and got a session. I'm like, oh my fucking God. Like, I felt like the next day, I was like, so tired. But then the flare I had been in at that point for 6 months went away. And I'm just like, the only thing different I did was that Reiki session. And she did warn me that the day after the session, I may not feel that great, but then I would start feeling better. I'm like, okay. And she was right. Like, the day after, I felt tired. It just felt like the energy in my body was all sorts of moving around, doing things. And next day, I'm like, wow, I feel really damn good. And so I took my first class. I took it in West Burlington, Iowa, from a small massage school that was associated with the community college. And she did a wonderful job of teaching. And I stayed at my first level for a couple of years. And then I got my second level from a friend of mine, Shannon, who uses the International Center for Reiki Training, which is Reiki.org, okay? And this time it came with a book, which for me, book learning, that's how I absorb almost everything. So I also got my advanced level and my master level through Shannon as well. Each level affects your body differently. And once I got my master level, I realized that now the energy around me, I'm a lot more sensitive to it. I'm a lot more sensitive to when I know my emotions are running wild with me, causing me to manifest things I don't want. So yes, does this tie into my law of attraction? Absolutely. But more importantly, it has given me the ability to actually feel the energy in my body and around my body. So I know when something's off, which helps me change that going forward. Excuse me. I have been doing Reiki sessions since it's been a while. It's before I moved to Kentucky, so I'm gonna go back to 2010 ish that I've been doing Reiki sessions. So here we are in 2024, so 14 years I've been doing Reiki sessions. Now, did they change from when I was a level 1 and 2 to once I got my master? They did. Because I got more symbols, power symbols to use, and that master level helped me realize that sometimes, like in the beginning, when you're taught your first couple levels, you're taught honestly 4 to 5 minutes in each position. Okay, there are 13 positions, so it takes about an hour. No big deal. And I would literally just time it. Like, I wouldn't allow the energy to flow. I think there's one more. There was. Okay. I didn't let the energy flow the way it needed to flow. And so sometimes I wasn't giving enough energy to one spot or giving too much. Once I got that master level and I was able to better feel the flow, I now just stay on a position for as long as it needs it. Some positions need only a minute or two, and there's other positions that need like 5-6 minutes. It doesn't matter. I'm going to stay there until the energy stops flowing, and that's how I know it's time to move. And sometimes there are spots on the body that need the energy that are outside the traditional locations, and so I will go to that location. For example, if someone has a bad knee, I will go to that knee and put my hands on the knee and give the Reiki there. Now, I'm talking about doing this Reiki energy. I am never ever using my own energy. I am a channel for universal divine energy. I just channel it. It's not using my personal energy. I do set the intention, and most of the time it's intention to heal. Unless somebody wants something specific, like the intention to bring in abundance. And yes, you can use Reiki in that manner. And I've done that. I do that in my own practice every day. Is I grab a candle, I do my Reiki symbols over it, I put some Reiki with the intention to give love, gratitude, and appreciation. And once the energy is done, like I feel it stop flowing, I put the candle in my little Dutch oven, aka a cauldron, it's on to speak, and I light it, because having my candle in something that the cats can't knock over is vital, because my cats will knock something over and possibly set the whole place on fire. And we don't want that, because cats are assholes. Anyway, so I use Reiki in my daily life. I actually give Reiki to the food I cook and to the food I eat that I don't necessarily cook. Like when I'm cooking, I'm doing the Reiki thing. I'm giving the energy. I'm giving gratitude, love, and appreciation for the fact I'm able to cook the meal, that I have stuff to cook the meal, that I cook the meal, that I'm eating the meal. I give Reiki for safe travels when I'm driving or when I'm riding. Like, I use it in more than just the typical healing. Some of my clients I've done, I've helped heal. I've helped them start the process of trauma healing, whether that's physical trauma or emotional trauma. I've helped them understand who they are better through the use of Reiki. And once again, it's not me using my energy. It is me just channeling this energy to help. Reiki energy can never, let me repeat this, never hurt. It will only ever do what's best for the person. And sometimes what's best for the person is to move forward from this physical life. Yes, death Reiki is a thing. And it's a very hard thing. I've had the privilege, very difficult privilege, but I've had the privilege of, as part of hospice care, give Reiki to dying patients. And it's very heartbreaking for me, but I do my best to keep my emotions in check. And I just ask that the universe, whatever you want to call it, does what's best for the person to end their suffering. Whether that's being cured, which would be amazing, or being able to move on peacefully with no pain. Which 9 times out of 10, that's all we can ever ask for, is that somebody, as a death Reiki, or I hate calling it death Reiki, it's hospice Reiki maybe? Anyway, all we can do is help that person pass peacefully, help ease their pain, so they aren't, their last moments here on the physical plane aren't filled with fear and pain. Because as someone who has done this, I'll tell you that before the Reiki, the people, you could feel the fear and the pain. And if I can help just a little bit with that, then that is all that I could ever hope for, is that I help someone in their moment of suffering not suffer as much. I've also given Reiki to babies, like my cat. Cat Butt he's old. He's 11. He's a grumpy ass old man. And with being a grumpy ass old man, he's got some arthritis in his back hips. So yeah, do I give my cats Reiki? Yeah, I do. Cat Butt is also attuned to Reiki energy. He's attuned to level 2. And sometimes he'll activate my Reiki and I'll activate his without us even, for me, without there being the intention to activate it. And I'm okay with that. I mean, Cat Butt is my buddy, so I'm not going to complain. And there have been times in which I've been around people that my Reiki energies have activated without me being conscious about it, which tells me that person desperately needs it. And if I notice that, I'll go ask them. If they say no, because the whole thing with Reiki is I can't give it without permission. So if somebody says no, then I have to stop. I have to stop. I made that agreement when I took my master attunement. So although my Reiki may be activated, it doesn't mean that that person will necessarily be willing to accept it. So I just, when that happens, I'll find something else for my Reiki to go to. I just trust it. It has definitely improved the quality of my life overall. Have I been through some things? Yeah. But who the fuck in the last 5 years hasn't been through the shit? These last 5 years, although not the worst, have not been great 5 years. But I know for a fact that Reiki has helped me not hit rock bottom. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm trying to think what else I want to say about Reiki other than book your appointment. Yes, a shameless business plug, because I do Reiki sessions. Now, let me talk about it. Let's talk about what a Reiki session looks like if you get a Reiki session from me. So I do have a massage table that I use, and it's going to have um, sheets on it. I'm going to have pillows. I'm going to make sure you're comfortable. Then I will start in. The first thing I do is cleanse and balance the chakras. If you don't know what a chakra is, we have 7 major energy points. There are many others, but there's the 7 major energy points in our bodies, and I like to go in and make sure that they are not blocked, that they're flowing the right way, that everything with them is good before I go in and start the Reiki session. And at that point, once I do that, we start in with the Reiki session, and I'll do the symbols over the person. I'll do the symbols in my hand, do symbols over the person, then I'll go to the first position, and I will just start. The whole process takes anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on what your body needs. I always book out an hour and a half, just because I would rather have the extra time than and not need it than need it and not have it. Anyway, so that's what a Reiki session. I will pick up a lot of information off of you if you do a Reiki session. And I always give everyone the option, do you want to hear what I'm picking up on, or do you want me to keep it to myself? And I've had clients that are both ways. They don't want to know. All right, now I'm going to respect you. Now, for those who go down that route, I don't take notes on my Reiki sessions. I probably should, to be honest. I really should, but I don't. So if you don't want to know what it is I picked up on, I'm not going to tell you, but don't expect me to remember it in 2 hours. So there have been times in which I've told somebody something important and I won't remember it, and they'll come back, oh my God, you were so right. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, but I don't remember. Which comes down to maybe I should start taking notes, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So that's what a Reiki session is going to look like. And I do charge $60 for a full Reiki session that includes just chakra balancing. I also can teach and attune Reiki all the way up through master. Anyone interested in a class, levels 1 and 2, I charge $300 for. That includes all the cost of all the materials. That includes up to 2 days of class time. And if it's a one-on-one session, I can usually get everything knocked out in 1 day. It's when it's in a group that I might need 2 days. So I'm open to both. Levels 3 and 4, I do charge $500 for. But those are things I can do. If you have any questions about Reiki and all of that, you can always hit me up. But once again, this is going to be a fairly short one. I need to better prepare for these. Thank you, ADHD. Anyway, that is all I have for tonight. I hope everyone has a great evening, and I will chat at you all next week. Toodles!